Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is the 24th of January, and we're going to be doing the astrology of the week ahead, and that is the week from January 24th to January 30th, Sunday to Saturday. Now, we have had two of the probably most active weeks of 2021 already. So a lot of January felt to me like the culmination of 2020. Something was coming to birth in January, and the time between the election and the 6th of January was moving through it's like moving through the birth canal. And the 6th of January, which was, of course, the day that the capital of the U.S. was attacked by Trump supporters and QAnon people and white supremacists and other sort of groups in that genre. That was really the tower moment, we'll say. And since then, certainly the tower has been falling for Donald Trump. People are waking up to a new reality, one that they, there's this energy of wishing things to be a certain way. And that is not necessarily how things work. Of course, we can focus our intentions on things. We can work with the morphogenic field, but it's much more powerful if you're doing that from a place of self-knowledge, a place of integrity within yourself. And the thing is that having a savior come and, bring all the pedophiles to justice and all of this stuff is somebody coming and saving the situation. Something from the outside coming in. And really, these are the kind of issues and questions, and not to say that there aren't pedophile rings, and not to say that there aren't children suffering. But this isn't the way to go about fixing any of that. So, all right, so let's get started with the week. I don't want to get too much up front here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the week starting with today, which is Sunday the 24th. Okay, so we're starting right now with the moment that we're in right now. I'm doing this at 11:06 a.m. on Sunday, and actually, we can see that Uranus and Mars are actually rising in the eastern horizon here where I live in Wareham. What we have today, we can see that the Sun and Saturn are in a close conjunction. They had their exact conjunction yesterday at 5 degrees of Aquarius. What was the Sabian symbol for 5 degrees of Aquarius? I think I remember. Well, let me look. I have it right here. I'll read it to you just as a review. It says, a council of ancestors is seen implementing the efforts of a young leader, the root foundation of past performances, which power and sustain whatever decision is made in a crisis by an individual, reliance upon precedence. All we ever hear was, this is unprecedented, this is unprecedented. This is unprecedented. Well, this conjunction of Saturn and the Sun is precedented. Sorry, I can't say it. And the Sun Saturn conjunction that happens every year, once a year, sort of sets the intention of what needs to be illuminated. Saturn deals with structure. Saturn deals with limitations. We will become aware of the limitations of the structure as it is now, not to say that we can't make changes in that structure. And there will be changes in the structure this year because Saturn and Uranus are making 3 last quarter squares to each other over the next year. The first one occurs in February. So we're going to have a restructuring. That is going to be a continual process, sort of driven by the need to change things in order to sustain and maintain what it is that we need to sustain and maintain. So there's that. But I just wanted to mention that because we can see in this chart that the sun and the moon are quite close to one another. Okay, let me take a look here. I'm sort of, I don't always see what you see. So we have that sort of the sun and Saturn coming off from that conjunction. Today, we have the moon in Gemini, and we can see here, right now, the moon is at 1616. I was thinking of 1616 Mockingbird Lane, but that's 1313. It is going to be making a conjunction to the North Node. It is going to be making a square to Neptune today. Neptune square the moon can confuse things. We're going to talk about this whole Neptune, North Node, Vesta, South Node configuration that we have here. But it's interesting. We have the South Node. We have in Sagittarius. We have Juno moving towards that node. It is in a wide conjunction at this time. We have Neptune here and conjunct very close to Ceres, squaring the nodes. We have the moon, of course, conjunct the North Node, and then Vesta here at the other point of this giant mutable square. What's interesting is that the moon, Juno, Vesta, and Ceres are all feminine archetypes, And so the feminine is very much in play when it comes to our karmic destiny, the nodes of the moon, right? The nodes of the moon deals with our karmic destiny. Okay, so that's what's going on today. So I'm going to just move this forward so we can look at, and we're going to go, I think, a day at a time. So let me fix this here. Okay, I'm going to animate this at a day at a time, and we're also going to look at some specific things happening. So that was today. Tomorrow, let's move it ahead. Okay, here we are on the 25th. This is Monday. The moon moves from Gemini into Cancer. That occurs at 1:53 p.m. So on the east coast of the US. So at this point, the moon is still in Gemini. It is going to move into Cancer. Today, the major aspect is a sextile between the sun and Chiron. This Sun Chiron sextile is an Aquarius side sextile. The Sun and Chiron conjoined in 2020, and the Sun has moved to the point of the 300-degree circle. It's moved to 300 degrees. That is a place of opportunity for progressive change. So we can see some opportunity for progressive change. Chiron in Aries is the wound of toxic masculinity. It's the wound of war and and such. I heard yesterday, or I saw somewhere on in one of the things that came through my YouTube feed, was that Biden was thinking of bringing more troops into Iraq. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I do have to say, while I don't think President Trump's foreign policy was necessarily a good one, I am glad we didn't get involved in another war, which, 4 years without getting involved in another war was kind of a nice break. It would have been nice if we had that and like nothing, none of the other craziness. So it's kind of like, yay, no war, but oh my God, we have a war here. So I guess we're turning in on ourselves in that respect. And we have to come to terms with who we are and what we stand for. And of course, the United States has a Chiron in Aries, so we can see that manifesting itself, and will continue to manifest itself. Chiron does. The United States doesn't have its Chiron return until 2024 and 2025. That is right after we have our Pluto return. So we have a lot of stuff ahead of us, and we'll see how we manage that. Hopefully, we'll all be together to do that, right? Okay, so we have this. So this is an opportunity for healing, actually. This is an opportunity to even legislate some healing, legislate perhaps how we can limit the expression of the wound in such a negative way, and then take steps to heal it instead of just, this isn't, when you're dealing with Aquarius, you're dealing with sort of a larger picture, structure of society and all that. It's not necessarily just like when we're in Capricorn, where it's like, you can't do that because I say so. This is about like societal structural change, that we can start that process to help deal with the wounded masculine, and the wound of identity, and the wound of bullying, and the wound of not having enough courage to stand up for yourself, right? Okay. So we have that going on. So that's Monday. So now Tuesday, we'll go another day ahead. And Tuesday, we have this is Tuesday, the 26th. Yes. Okay. We have a couple of things going on Tuesday. We have Neptune square the nodes on Tuesday. Actually, this is as close. This is almost exactly Neptune square the nodes. We can see the nodes at 1905, 1905, and then Neptune here is at 1906. So this is just before Neptune squares the nodes. Neptune square the nodes is something that's been going on since the summer. When a planet is square the nodes, it activates both ends of the nodes. Neptune deals with confusion, but it also deals with spirituality. And when you have a planet square the nodes, it's as if you're in a way between a rock and a hard place. The resolution node for this is the South Node. What does that mean? It means that we need to look back at the past and our beliefs, and evaluate them, and sort of let go of beliefs that no longer serve us. Let go of beliefs that have been proven wrong, perhaps. Let go of beliefs that things like we deserve to suffer. Whatever belief no longer serves, to let that go, and then to move forward into this North Node of facts, this North Node of information, this North Node of communication. So it's about stopping all this, well, I believe this, and I believe that, and I believe this, and actually sitting down and discussing. That is the way out of this conundrum that we find ourselves in. And this is the first time that Neptune has been exactly square the node. So it's going to be interesting to see how that manifests itself as we move through this week. But it's as if the peak of illusion or delusion is here. And we'll see. This isn't, and so to support that in your own life, ask, what do I need to let go of? And be willing to do that. And then seek out new information, seek out valid information as you sort of move through your life, actually. We also have a square between the sun and Uranus today. And that one I am going to pull up and show you the exact square of that. So let me do that. I have to just do a new square, a new chart here for you. All right, let's see, where are we here? This is the 26th. Is this at the sun and Uranus 27? No, that's not exactly right. This might be Neptune square the nodes. Let me take a look here. Where are the nodes? Here's Neptune, 06. So this is Neptune square the nodes. This is actually for Washington, D.C. And we can see the south node of the moon up here in the 9th house of beliefs. We can see Neptune right here on the ascendant. We can see the need for facts here in the 3rd house. And over here we have Vesta. Vesta is what we devote ourselves to. We need to devote ourselves to taking care of each other. The 7th house. Focus on and devote ourselves to care and concern for each other. As we let go of old beliefs that no longer serve us, look at the facts and transform ourselves, bringing sort of spirit back into its rightful place as an inspiration, as opposed to a delusion. So there's that energy. So let me see, I think this might be the square. Uranus, where are we here? I'm sorry. Oh, of course, it says it on the thing. Goodness gracious, where are we? Oh, Rachel Maddow. Nope, that's not it. No, sorry. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Sun square Uranus. Here's the sun, 647. Here's Uranus, 647. Sun in the 12th house. This is for the Washington, D.C. area. And then, of course, this Uranus in the 3rd house. This is an awakening of information. So it's very possible we're going to hear some information that was previously hidden coming up. That being said, this square between Uranus and the sun is a last quarter crisis in consciousness square. It is in its nature rebellious. It is in its nature individuating. And it's about turning your back on what other people or what people that you see as in authority are saying that you need to do. Now, if what they're saying you need to do aligns with what you feel is right, then that's one thing. But this is really like taking the reins of your own life, becoming the captain of your own ship, but not simply to rebel for rebellion's sake, but to move in the direction of we can resolve these things within our community, as opposed to waiting for Papa to fix everything. Father knows best. This is the anti-father knows best aspect. And so again, we have this very sort of rebellious, transformational and awakening energy that is continuing through this week. So there's going to be more revelations. There's going to be more challenges, more people waking up. There's resistance. It's very interesting that I think it was Romney said, "Oh, we can't give all this money away because we gave all that money away last year." But he didn't say, we gave all that money away to the rich people 3 years ago. So, oh God, Republicans. Anyway, there's still stuff to fight for here, as opposed to fight about. There's still things to that need attention, and the people, Aquarius, are the ones who need the attention. And we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. So that is the Sun Uranus square on Tuesday. So those are the major aspects that are happening on Tuesday. Wednesday, let's look at Wednesday. Okay, we have Wednesday, the 27th of January. The moon is in Cancer. It does move into Leo. That occurs at, let's see. Oh, I didn't write it down. Well, let's see, what time is this? 11 o'clock. So in the afternoon, and later in the afternoon here on the East Coast of the US, we can see that day that the moon is opposite Pluto, opposite Venus. Oppositions are always about awareness. Of course, Venus in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, that is the government. Capricorn is the government, right? Venus is money, Venus is values, Venus is resources here. And we will have tomorrow a conjunction between these two, and we'll look at that as well. But on Wednesday, we get a real, when the moon is opposite anything, we personally feel it. So we're feeling the pinch, we're feeling the stress, we're feeling it and becoming aware of it. And then we, through that experience, we decide what kind of actions that we're going to take. So that is the 27th. And so then Thursday, we have a full moon in the sign of Leo. Let's take a look at that. All right, so now we're on Thursday. This is the 28th of January, and we have a full moon in the sign of Leo. We can see here that the moon is at 9 degrees, 5 minutes of, the sun is at 9 degrees, 5 minutes of Aquarius. The moon is at 9 degrees, 5 minutes of Leo. This is, full moons are always points of awareness. This is the halfway point of the new moon that occurred, when was that? Was that last week? 14 days ago. That new moon was, Pluto was conjunct the sun and the moon on that new moon. So it was a new, sort of a new structure of power coming in, new power coming in. And so we have this full moon at this time, bringing awareness to Leo, the individual, and Aquarius, the group. We have Jupiter conjunct this later, a little bit later, just a little while later. This is going to make a conjunction at 10 degrees of Aquarius. And this full moon is actually square Mars and Uranus. So this is a time of, again, squaring this. We have a T-square in fixed signs, and T-squares or fixed squares like this, T-squares, deal with deep emotional stuff. This is a highly emotional time. The sun and Jupiter in the 8th house here. The 8th house is our shared resources. So I feel like this is really the whole idea of the budget, trying to get the money to the people as we need it, and the resistance that we're getting. It seems like we're going to be getting from the Republicans. I personally don't think people are going to stand for it, honestly. So this can be a very illuminating full moon, and also there can be a lot of activity, and we need to be careful on this day because we do have Mars square this, and in Taurus with Uranus, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of frustration. People are tired, are sick and tired of being sick and tired. People are suffering. People need money. People need resources. People need jobs, and the government has to get out of the way and change and shift in a way that's going to support the people, because without the people, you don't have a country. Now, the people did speak. They decided that Joe Biden was going to be the president. Now, things have to start moving. People are going to get very upset. So we will see how this manifests itself. So what I want to do is I want to go to the Sabian symbols for these degrees. Let me just find that here. So so let's look at the Sabian symbol for 10 degrees of Aquarius first. This is the degree of the sun. It says, a man who had for a time become the embodiment of a popular ideal is made to realize that as a person, he is not the ideal. The need to deal with human beings as persons rather than screens upon which one projects one's dreams and ideals. This very much sounds like Donald Trump, but it could also be Joe Biden. This is our journey. This is our fight. And as people, right? As people. So reevaluation. So that's the sun. Now let's look at the moon at 10 degrees of Leo. Let me go to that on my Sabian symbols here. I'm not sharing with you. I'm just reading it to you. It's just easier than switching around. Okay, just wanted to make sure I was recording. I did have a cup of coffee this morning, but I probably need another one. It says 10 degrees of Leo, early morning dew sparkles as sunlight floods the field. The exalted feeling that rises within the soul of the individual who has successfully passed through a long night, which has tested his strength and his faith. Transfiguration. So there is a potential here for a rebirth of sorts. And there is a potential here for coming to a realization that we have made it through a very, very dark period of time. And while the future isn't necessarily without its challenges, we have many, many challenges. But the darkest, I think the darkest part is over. So I think that's what these symbols are referring to. And then, of course, let's take a look at the conjunction between, let's see, let's look at the conjunction between the sun and, what is it? Is it the sun? Pluto and Jupiter? Hold on, let me see here. Pluto and Venus, I mean. Okay, that's tomorrow. So I want to look at here. Oh, Sun, Jupiter. That's what I wanted to look at. Did I pull it up? Hold on a second, guys. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's difficult, you know. Okay, I don't think I did it. So just give me a sec here. Okay, found it. And here we have the Sun, Jupiter here at 10 degrees of Aquarius. And just as a reminder, I'll say it again. 10 degrees of Aquarius. A man who had for a time become the embodiment of a popular ideal is made to realize that as a person, he is not the ideal. I feel like this is a test of because it's a conjunction between the Sun and Jupiter. So the Sun and Jupiter can be very almost too optimistic. There's too much optimism with the Sun Jupiter. It can be very sort of egotistical, and I think that when you're dealing with somebody who tends to be that way to start with, you have a big problem. If you're dealing with somebody who is not quite that in that way, maybe more circumspect, a little bit more sort of like step back, and it's not all about them, then that will expose, so it's not as much of an issue. So I think what I'm trying to say is this would be an issue for somebody like a Donald Trump. This would not be an issue for somebody like a Joe Biden. However, this is a perhaps the beginning of a realization about the reason for the things that happened as they happened, coming to some sort of understanding of why it is that we have been through this challenging period of time. Back when the day before, 2 days before Donald Trump won the presidency, I had a vision. I found myself lying beside an abyss, and I was right on the edge. So I never quite fell in, but I was observing, and I looked down, and it was a very, very dark, dark place. And I feel like we have been through that dark place, and we have come out the other side. And as we come out this other side, I feel as though we're waking up to a new reality, a new way of being, just a new awareness. And I think that this Jupiter Sun is an expansion of that awareness in Aquarius. So we're going to come to a better understanding through this year period that starts with this conjunction today, to have more of a perspective on the purpose and perhaps the gift of the last 4 years. So I think that's definitely definitely in the cards, so to speak. I guess we'll see what's in the cards when we get to the cards. So I mean, this is still a pretty active. I know I said things are calming down, but things are still pretty active, as it were, at this time. Okay, so that is Thursday, the full moon. We talked about the full moon. We talked about Venus. Venus conjunct Jupiter. So the next thing that we need to look at is, yeah, I looked at that. The 28th, which is, I think Friday no. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my God. Okay, so we have the full moon on the 28th, and we have Jupiter and the Sun on the 28th, and we have Venus and Pluto on the 28th. So this is the chart for Venus and Pluto, and this is for the US. We have Mars on the ascendant in Taurus, action for resources, action for values. Uranus here in the 10th house, just on the other side. I mean, in the 12th house, just on the other side. And we have Venus and Pluto here right at the MC. So this is what's in focus right now. This is the government, I think, helping people with this is, the work of the government to help people in need. to help businesses, to help the economy. This is all about the economy. And this is occurring at 26 degrees of Aquarius. No, of 26 degrees of Capricorn. Let's look at, I'm going to read the Sabian symbol for that for you. Let me just pull that up. 26 of, and what's interesting about this degree is that it's within 1 degree of the Pluto of the US. So, okay, let's see. 26 degrees. Let me read the Sabian symbol for you. A nature spirit dancing in the iridescent mist of a waterfall. The ability to perceive the hidden and creative spirit of natural phenomena. Occult energy. Occult energy. So occult being hidden energy. This presents us with a deep intuition of super physical energies, which at the end will seem fully mastered. The consciousness has become sensitized to the downward flow of occult energy in its bountiful natural aspect. Natural aspect. So it says it symbolizes the constant flow of vital energies, the fluidity of consciousness, which finds itself stimulated by change. The great cycle of water within the Earth's biosphere symbolizes the basic phase of universal processes, the ascent and descent of emotional energies and of love. We can personify these phases and speak of the soul of nature and the cosmic level of the world soul, anima mundi. Water is the substance of the telluric manifestations of the soul. It is a magical substance, and modern chemists are rediscovering in their study of it unusual behavior in certain situations of what old alchemists in their own way no doubt understood. This is talking about how water holds our feelings and our emotions, right? That's what Emoto talked about when he did Messages from Water. So this is a reminder to a certain extent, this conjunction, that we need to be in concert and in harmony with nature. It's not simply about making sure that, you know, businesses or corporations you know, get the money that they need perhaps to continue. We need to, this is a reminder that the whole system of our resources, the whole system of our relationship to nature, Venus, right, needs to come from a place of understanding of our place in nature and how we can aid and be aided by nature. So another realization of our interconnectedness with the planet that we call home. And so this is what this conjunction is about. And the interesting thing is that, you know, this conjunction with Pluto in Capricorn, at the end of the year, Venus does have a retrograde period, and it is in Capricorn. And so there is going to be a revisiting of this at the end of the year for sure. And so we'll see how that manifests itself. But a seed is being planted at this time, at the same time that the seed of understanding with the Sun and Jupiter is being planted. And also at the same time of a full moon, where we become aware of what we need to do as individuals to help society. How can we take actions? How can we take actions on those essential needs? Mars and Uranus square the full moon. So it's very, very powerful. And of course, this is the halfway point of that Pluto new moon, right? The conjunction of the Pluto new moon, which I believe happened at 24 degrees of Aquarius. I mean, of Capricorn. Sorry about that. I keep doing that to you guys. I don't mean to confuse you. I don't mean to confuse myself either. All right, so that is that. Let's see what's happening for Friday. So Friday, we have the moon in Leo all day. There are no major aspects. However, we've had plenty of realizations, plenty of awakenings, plenty of things coming into our consciousness with that full moon. And so Friday is a little bit of a decompression, if you would call it that, not quite, but where we really sort of come into a decompression or into a more internally oriented energy comes on the 30th, which is Saturday, and we have a Mercury retrograde. That's right, folks. Mercury goes retrograde just in time for the second impeachment. That week is going to have Mercury retrograde. So let's take a look at this. We have Mercury right here. Mercury is retrograde, stations retrograde at 27 degrees of Aquarius. Why is that significant? That is the degree of the moon in the Sibley chart of the United States is at, it's conjunct that, it's actually 27, but it's in a degree. And so this is it is a time of really sort of going within, finding the answers within. This is 27 degrees of Capricorn. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol for that. I'll read it to you here. Here we go. Let me find it. Oops, excuse me. Okay, so we're going 27 degrees of Aquarius. An ancient pottery bowl filled with fresh violets. The importance of traditional skills and artistic values deeply rooted in man's instinctive feelings as frames of reference for man's most authentic emotions. It says, dependence of the purest feelings of natural living upon the traditions within which they find their most adequate and effective setting. It is a symbol of a delicacy of feelings. So we have this retrograde period of Mercury. There are 3 retrograde Mercuries this year. Usually there's 3 or 4. So I think we only have 3 this year, and they're all in air. And while Mercury would normally spend 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks in a sign, it spends about 6 weeks. And so the majority of the time that Mercury is in an element this year is air, because we have 3 Mercury retrogrades. That increases the time of Mercury being in air. And this is going to be very much a mind kind of year, And retrograde in Aquarius has us review our relationship to each other, the need for community action, the need for taking care of one another, being our brothers and sisters keepers. So we are going, and this is a time really to process to process the energy, to process what we have just been through. This is a golden opportunity for that. And so take the time to do that. This may not be a time of forward motion. We have been going for so long, so fast, and had to sort of power through so much challenging material that this is going to be an opportunity for us to sort of step back. Now, the retrograde of Mercury lasts until the 21st of February, when it goes direct, and it goes direct, it looks like at, hold on here. Is it the 20? I'm sorry, I can't see with my glasses. Retrograde, direct. It goes direct at 12 degrees of Aquarius. So it's retrograding from 27 to 12 degrees of Aquarius. The shadow for this retrograde period actually began on, of course, the 6th of January. The 6th of January, Mercury went into its pre-shadow. It goes retrograde at 27. It goes direct on the 21st of February, and then it is not out of its shadow until the 14th of March. So we're going to be hearing a lot about what happened on the 6th of January. We're going to have a lot of time to ponder, to think about it, to think about how things have to change, to think about what happened, information coming out. Even though Mercury is retrograde, information is going to come out, and we're going to have to think about what all that means. So that is what is ahead for us this week. Pretty intense, not quite last week or the week before, but we're still processing, and most of February is going to be a time of processing this. So just be aware. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to do the card reading for this week. Okay, we're back. So I'm going to be doing a reading for this week ahead. Now that we've looked at the astrology, I'm using my Elemental Tarot, I believe. So let's see what's going on. We'll do, as we do each week, a truncated Celtic cross. I don't know why I can't ever think of that. Every time I try to say that, it gets caught in my head. So, all right, almost ready. Almost feels right. So another intense week ahead, folks. But at least we're not banging our heads against the wall anymore. God, no wonder we all had a headache. Inauguration day. All right, let's see. Hey, feels about right. So the immediate environment, we have the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is an energy where we are looking over, we are thinking, okay, very mental card. It's a card of justice, but it's a card of understanding. This in the Kabbalah is the 52-7 vibration. 7 is an understanding of who you are. It is associated with Bina, And of course, Bina is associated with the Saturn, right? And what do we have this week with Saturn? We don't. Do we have something with Saturn? The Queen of Wands is an energy of someone who has been through an awful lot and has been able to look at their experiences and learned from them, and has the need for and the talent for good judgment. So this is requiring good judgment on our part. We can see that while it is an air vibration, we can see the ocean below, the tumultuousness of the ocean. It's really about rising above the emotions, rising above the emotions. Oops. The crossing card just flew right out of the deck. What's crossing that? The Five of Pentacles. People are hurting, destitution. So the challenge here is to be able to rise above the emotions and not let the story of how we're in lack and we don't have and people are hungry. It's true. Those things are true, and those things need to be dealt with. We need to not let that keep us from the big picture that's happening. We have to keep both the big picture and then the practical considerations in our line of sight. Let's see what's at the root of this. We have the Six of Pentacles. This is about making sure that people get what they need, right? The Six of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite deck is the well-dressed man. He's holding a scale and he's giving alms to the poor. This is about making sure that the people who need the care and the help get the care and the help. That's what this is about. That's the root of the issue this week. In the past, we have the Ten of Swords. This is the end of something, the end of, and you know, the Ten of Swords being one of the most difficult cards in the deck, says to me that our troubles are behind us, or the worst part of it. We certainly have enough troubles ahead of us, but the worst of it is behind us. The worst of it is behind us. We have the Knight of, the Knight of Wands. This is about this is in the sky, the opportunity to start on a journey, to start on a journey that's inspired by our belief, or just forward motion. It's like things are starting to move forward. Things are starting to move forward, and the immediate. A lot of anxiety, Nine of Swords. So what these cards say to me is that we need to, that there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of you know, trouble. People don't have what they need. We're seeing things. We're seeing a reality that's kind of been there, but because the president now in our country anyway is saying, look, we're in a dire situation here, people are starting to see the dire situation. Before they could, you know, say, well, no, that's not really happening. It's as if the scales are coming off our eyes and we're seeing the situation that we're in. And the question is, and the energy is not to allow that to overtake you and overwhelm you and paralyze you, but to get your motor running and say, what are we going to do to fix this problem? What are we going to do? And that is sort of the mindset, and then utilizing your judgment, getting up over the very dark feelings and emotions, stepping up from that and getting a perspective that's going to be helpful, as opposed to not seeing it and just assuming it, just like imagining it's not there, looking at what's there, and yet not letting what's there bring you to a place where you feel powerless. Because remember, we have to realize that if we want to change the world, we have to change ourselves. If we want to change the world, we have to take our responsibility. We have to take our responsibility. This month for us is about choices, right? It's a 6-month. The universal year is about listening to your inner wisdom and utilizing your talents, and everything that you've worked for to continue to build upon that. So we're still, this is the energy that we're dealing with this week. So I hope this was helpful to you. Like and subscribe, and I will see you again next week for this. It felt a little scattered to me, and I apologize for that. I'm still trying to work out how best to organize things and how to work with my system here with my this and that and this, and I'm not all that technically adept, but I'm getting better. So much love, everyone. We're gonna be okay. We will move through this time together, and together we can do anything, really. So keep your third eye open, keep your heart open, watch your back. People are going to be upset. People are going to be emotional. We are going to get to see a lot and feel a lot and know a lot. So be prepared. Okay, guys, much love. Take care.